Desmond. You all now? I thought it was supposed to go through the stream. Oh. Better not have.
Hello. This works. My volume loud enough?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Good enough.
Hello! Hello and welcome. We're going live. Let me turn that music off. Excellent. Chickens in chat to say hi. Oh, there's a dab. Duh, duh. Get that out of the way. Okay. We're just waiting for one person to get into Roll20, and then we're going to jump in. You guys both here?
I'm here.
Yep.
Excellent.
I'm logging in.
Excellent, excellent. Let me just double check that I don't need Steam downloading stuff in the background. Excellent. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you guys into this Untitled page. This is just for a demo. Which is just the character icons. So you guys have yours, which I could potentially give to you guys if I wanted, but we're not going to stay here, so it doesn't really matter. And those are the other characters that you've come to know and love from. I guess I should do a quick recap for anyone watching, although honestly there aren't that many people watching at the moment. They might watch it later, you never know. So I will jump back to this screen real quick. They are a couple of conscripts that have been brought into a war. It's the Empire forces versus some unknown elven force. And they were brought to this camp right here where I guess you guys can't see this. I'll bring you in just for while I'm talking so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then they were attacked that night by some goblins, and they hacked the crap out of them. They did a very good job, and now they're moving on up to the main war camp, where things will hopefully get even more interesting. So the squad that they met, and I'm assuming you guys can see this, involved a bunch of other characters that they got to know. They are Oris and Fjorn. Yeah, and we have those are our PCs, and then the sergeant here is named Corbin Brackle, or Sergeant Brackle if you want, if you nasty, but you normally they also call him Corbin a lot. He wears heavy armor, seems like a skilled fighter of some sort. Definitely held his own in the fights that they had. We have Maverick, who is a halfling spellcaster of some sort. He was giving them some heals that they saw earlier. He wields a quarterstaff and his wits. We have Callie over here, Fainstar, who is wields a longbow, and they've kind of had a couple of scraps with the group already, the three of them. We have this character, Drug Hightower.
That's my buddy.
He's your best friend, in air quotes. Wields a giant warhammer, and has yet to really prove himself with the PCs in any real manner. This character right here, this actually image doesn't represent the character very well. I couldn't find one that quite fit a character they hadn't seen yet, because she's cloaked and they barely see her face, and it's supposed to be blonde, not white, but whatever, we'll go with it. So just a rather mysterious character that has done things in the background but hasn't really interacted with them much. And then we have these two, which are the twins, Gimbal and Foal, who are both sword fighters, and they tend to fight together and don't have much to say. But they did lend our buddy Fjorn a little nip. He wanted a little booze to get through the day, and they had a flask for him. So that's the team that they're with, and they're moving up to the main war camp. So I think now that we've gotten everybody caught up on what happened, you guys ready to go?
Right.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay, so I don't think I need this. I'm trying to keep track of all my own notes on one monitor while running it on the other. Okay, so you guys can see this, right? I have you in the right page. Whoop. Let's go back.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So you had just finished defeating an owl bear and wrapping it up and getting it ready to go. And then it's about midday, and you guys make the rest of your travel into the war camp. And we'll kind of just, I guess we'll just say you've done it and get to the sweet new content that is available to you guys. The war camp, I believe I can just bring you guys in here. The streamers are lucky and they get to see the whole map, but you guys will be limited to only what's visible in the square there. Are you guys here?
Yeah, I think my
black.
character needs glasses. Can't see very far.
Well, it's
Oh, I see a bridge. Okay.
the bridge kind of might give you a little scale. So it is still relatively daytime, and you guys can see quite a ways. I would say maybe around 100 feet is that square, but I'm not entirely sure how we'll do this. Maybe you'll just describe to me where you guys want to go. I guess first things first, you guys arrive, and the squad decides, or Corbin is just pleased because he's going to take that head now. He's like, you guys did a great job. I'm going to go report in with the other officers. You guys are free to do what you want. I'll let you know when we have any orders. But for now, you guys are free to your own devices. So he also recommends that you newbies, pointing to Fjorn and Oris, that you might want to consider having one of these other guys show you around. And while he's saying that, we'll say Tessa just kind of disappears. Obviously not willing. But everybody else hangs around for a second. So Corbin heads off with his horse, camping supplies, the head of the owl bear, and the rest of the group is with you guys, and you are free to do what you want.
Okay, I'd say we go ahead and head into the camp, I guess. And
Should we have somebody show us?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you guys wanted to have a guide or not. You don't need to. If you want to just explore on your own, that's fine. I can give you guys control of this party token if you'd like, which is the only token I didn't make an actual token of. But
I kind of want to make Drug uncomfortable and have him show us around. if that's possible.
Sure. You guys can go up to Drug and try talking with him. What do you guys want?
I wonder if you could show us around the camp a little bit, introduce us to some people.
What are you guys interested in? We've got plenty of amenities here. Food?
Drink.
You guys are hungry? Sure, why not? We'll take you to the... One second. I'll take you to the Black Baron Tavern. That's where I usually hang out anyways.
That sounds good.
Okay. So the rest of the group kind of disperses then. And he starts leading the way. I'm assuming you guys follow him.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's about a few hours from evening. So just giving you an idea. The light is starting to set a little, but you've still got a bit of daylight left. So he starts traveling north with you. Well, I say north, but this map is actually... Is it north? Well, I won't worry about it. We'll just call up on the map north for now, but I'm not sure if in the world map this is actually oriented that way. And I will start, if I remember how, start revealing some area for you guys. So, as you travel up... Now I can't click. As you start traveling up...
Did we cross the bridge as we came in?
This bridge down here? No, you came from down here. Oops.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I dragged the entire map by accident. Ah, no, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, you came in from beneath. I know what I'm doing wrong here. I need to move this to the... whatever. It's fine. So you didn't cross this bridge. He's taking you up northwards. But as you get to about here-ish, you guys do see this area. Wow. I gotta learn these controls better. You do see an area of tents and soldiers, and I'm not sure if I explained this, but the rest of the soldiers that are milling around, it's not barren like it looks on the map. There are military personnel walking around. It's relatively busy. The soldiers here are all dressed in similar outfits. I believe Corbin or someone had explained to you last session that you guys kind of stand out a little because you had previous military experience. They've allowed you to be without your military issued equipment, but most of the rookies are running around and doing their thing. So you see a busy area here. Sorry, I'll ping for you guys if I can ping. There you go. Obviously, you can see it's named stable, so you can kind of picture that this is where the military horses are being kept and maintained. But Drug is not stopping to tell you anything, so it's up to you. Can either just keep following him or do whatever you want at this point.
I'll keep following.
Yeah, keep following.
Sweet. So you guys continue to travel upward. I guess you guys can. I think I gave you control of the little icon if you'd like them.
Yep.
So,
But
yeah,
I can't see anything
yeah,
anyways.
Exactly. I'm gonna reveal some more as we go. I think I missed I don't know why this selection box is so awkward. So, yeah, you cross the bridge, large bridge. You pass some more soldiers on the way that kind of give you slight nods or no attention at all. And then he takes a left at this path here. It's so annoying that I can't ping and reveal at the same time. I have to switch tools. And then as we reveal this area, I will just give it to you here. This is where you see, again, more tents, more area, but some of the buildings here are, as you can see in the limited images I have to work with, that some of the buildings are more permanent. That some of this camp is designed to be like a future outpost, or they're basically going to build a city here at some point. Is kind of the idea you're getting, because it's not all tents, it's not all makeshift or temporary. There are some actual buildings here, including, as you see, the Black Baron Tavern, and Drug mentions that there's an arena, because it's written here. I have to at least tell you why it said that. There is a battle arena of some sort, but you can't see it without further investigation. But he leads you to a tavern. We'll call it a tavern, yeah, because that's what it is. Makes sense to call it what it is. And outside the door of the tavern, you see it says the Black Baron Tavern, and then underneath is like two cutlasses crossed, and that's the like symbol for the tavern itself. And he kind of waves you guys in as he holds the door for you guys.
Oh, sweet. I guess we'll go in, or at least I'll go in.
I'll follow.
Sweet. Okay, well, I don't have... You guys are just going to be here. I don't have a map for inside the tavern, so you guys will just kind of have to use theater of the mind for a moment here as we handle the interactions within the tavern. I need to turn my air conditioning. I forgot that I actually shut it off in the basement because I was like, why are we air conditioning the basement? I'm never down there. Yeah, I am down there. Okay, so you head into the tavern and it's ramping up patronage because it's starting to get later in the evening. And so there are some tables and there's a bar set up, and Drug, puts his hammer down, or sorry, he goes to the bar, sits down, and puts his hammer leaned it against a stool. And what else is in the room? There are a few patrons throughout. Like I said, it's getting a little busier as it creeps in. There's some military people sitting in spots. There's a couple of people you also notice aren't wearing military outfits. And there's also the serving staff running around. Are you guys just, I guess you guys are at the doorway right now?
Yeah, just say we go in and get some food and drink and
Sure.
kind of listen to people talk. And
All right. So we'll put you guys at the bar, I'm guessing, with Drug.
I was gonna say
We want-
Oris
or do you
would
wanna-
like to ask, I guess the server or the bartender if anyone has any parchment or something for writing on.
Okay. So, let's say you're at the bar at this. I'm kind of confused as where everybody went. I think Fjorn went, and Oris is still trying to. Are you trying to wave someone down at the door, or are you?
Well,
or
I
is
guess
everyone together?
I guess yeah, the three of us were together.
Okay.
I guess
So
at the
yeah,
bar's
you
fine.
guys are all just sitting there, and there is a bartender. Just a second. He is a human male, slender build, and he seems to you look at him and just at first glance you assume he must really enjoy vests because he's wearing like a vest with no shirt underneath, and it looks fancy, but like the rest of his attire doesn't match. So he's just like a fancy vest guy, and he brings over. Already has a bottle ready to give a drink to Drug because he knows his usual. But he sees, I haven't seen you two around here before, and I'm guessing Oris at this point. This is when you ask him for parchment.
Yeah, sure. And I guess I'll have whatever Fjorn is having as well.
which would be ale.
All right, yeah. So 2 ales, and you want some parchment? Yeah, 1 second. So as he steps off to make your drinks, you meet the owner. Actually, slips by to come say hi. She's actually going to come from outside, not from behind the bar. She says, "Hey, welcome, new recruits, I see." And you guys, when you see her, she is a human female. She is very well dressed and strikingly beautiful in comparison to the rest of the rabble that is here. And she introduces herself. "Hi, I am Morningstar, the owner of the Black Baron."
So I'm Bjorn.
And I'm Oris. Glad to meet
Hi.
you.
Welcome. And while you're saying this, the 2 ales are being slid to you, and there is some paper being put down by you, Oris. Although paper is generally expensive, so we'll see what they ask for coinage-wise when you guys leave.
I thank the bartender.
Do you guys need help around here? I know Drug is not terribly helpful, and he kind of scowls a little but doesn't care. He's just back to drinking.
We'll just sit here for a little bit and enjoy the ale.
Certainly. Food, too, as well?
Yeah, food. Preferably meat.
Excellent. So she just like snaps her fingers and points to you guys, and let's say a very large, broad male human comes over, and he puts just plates of meat in front of you guys. Drug as well, but he barely pays notice, and he just starts eating it when he has time. And the server nods at you and walks away. And I guess you guys are free to eat your refreshments.
I want to ask Drug, is there something wrong with the meat? Why aren't you like,
Oh, he eats it. Yeah, he's eating it. He just doesn't pay attention to the server. Sorry. He
ah,
eats the food but he doesn't recognize that he's being served. Really, he just like because as I explained, I guess from the last session is he comes from because of his last name. He comes from a higher status, so he doesn't really care for the servers at all. He's kind of better than them.
so we didn't catch the bartender's name, but
Sure. So as the
introduce
bartender,
himself.
yeah, as he's wiping down, you guys, I guess, ask him to come over, and he tells you his name is. Oh yes, hi, I'm Rogue, the bartender, and you guys I overheard are Oris and Fjorn. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I say thanks as well. Again.
As you're eating your meal, I suppose you overhear conversations as things get busy. There are the occasional angry scuffle among the military personnel. You can tell that this is a fine establishment, but there seem to be some seedier characters spending their time here. You get the impression that not everybody here in the camp hangs out here. That you get the feeling that some of them might be a rougher group. I mean, it is a tavern after all. So you hear some arguments. You even hear some one of the not dressed military just kind of yelling out at somebody. You hear like random yelling. But overall, it's a good meal. It's a good meal and a good drink.
I wonder if we should make sure we get part of our share of the owl bear carcass and the ears that we have here too at some point. The goblin ears, I believe we have.
Yeah, yeah, you do have those. Um, are you interested in asking Drug how that works, or the bartender, or waiting for Morningstar to come back?
We should wait for Morningstar because
That's not a bad idea. Okay, so as you guys are finishing up, she comes back just to ask you how the meal was. And when you ask her how payment for things work, she's quick to answer for you guys. Oh yes, you should go see the quartermaster. I'm not surprised that Trug didn't actually show you around very much and just probably came straight here, didn't he? Again, he gives her kind of a dirty look, but doesn't care. It's just back to his second tankard.
It was mostly our request. Don't blame him.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Do you need directions? Someone to go with you?
Whatever, whatever is of no issue to.
She snaps her fingers again, and comes another server. He's kind of a smaller male, and he seems to be like having trouble handling the food and the plates. He's got like a couple plates in his hand, and he almost drops them, and he puts them down on the bar, and he says, "Yeah, yes, Morningstar. Can you go with these guys and just show them where the quartermaster is? They're looking to return some I don't know what to call it. Quarry? I'm not sure what to call it. That's out of character. As the DM, I'm not sure what word to use there. She uses she uses an eloquent term for your kills, but I don't have one at the ready. So the smaller man, he's kind of young, and he reaches out to shake each of your hand. Hi, I'm Mickey. Sure, let's go.
Thanks, Mickey. We would also like to know where we're staying if not in the stables.
Morningstar is still there, so she chimes in. Oh, yes, there are quarters. They're at the center of the camp, and you will have rest there, no problem. That's also where the officers stay, and if you're looking for work, other than the orders that are issued, there is a job board there as well. Here's a quick... Don't worry, you'll get this map pretty quick, as long as you talk to people.
So I guess we go with Mickey to the quartermaster.
Yeah. So I've kind of, for brevity's sake, given you that location. So we'll just say if that's where you go, he leads you there. That's how you gain that information. You can go wherever you'd like, though, or he showed you where it was, and then you can head somewhere else instead. It's up to you what you'd like to do.
I'm okay with collecting the coin for the goblin ears and right off the bat. So
sure. Do you guys want to control the little party marker? Just throw yourself. Yeah, that's all you need to do, right? Now I know you're. So you go to the quartermaster. Give me a sec. I have a whole bunch of names. Yeah, I'm curious if you guys are taking notes at all, or if.
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
I'm taking notes. I got lots.
I know. I keep throwing stuff at you guys, but I feel like it's fun when you remember a character and then you come back and you're like, hey, and then you catch me use the wrong name and you're like, wasn't that? And then I feel stupid, and then you guys feel smart. So you come up to the quartermaster. There's like a large storehouse with like carriages and like horses moving supplies around, and then there's like a counter kind of out like at the edge of the building. That's an opening, if that kind of makes sense. There's an opening where you can speak to the quartermaster, and as you approach him, you notice that he seems a little busy, but as soon as he sees you, he definitely comes to the attention of you guys. And you notice also that his another human male, and he's got his arm his right arm is in a sling. But he doesn't seem to mind. He doesn't seem hurt at all by it, and he's immediately happy to see you. Hi, welcome. My name is Port Figgins. I run the quartermastery here and the storehouse. Are you new?
Yep, we're brand new.
Excellent.
We just walked in shortly.
Yeah. What brings you here? What are you in need of? I'm like holding my arm in a sling, but you guys can't see or hear me do it.
Okay.
It's not even on stream. It's like my arm is too far down. The camera doesn't even capture it. But I just noticed that I was doing. Anyways, continuing.
Helps you stay in character, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, we're here to sell some findings during our travels on the way here.
Oh, what did you find? I'm always interested in a good hunt.
Well, you may have seen some of our crew come in earlier. We took down an owlbear in addition to a number of goblins. We have the ears from the goblins.
His eyes go a little wild, like he's super excited about it. He screams something to the back. You don't even catch it. It just sounds like nonsense, possibly not even in common, which is what humans would be speaking. And then turns back to you guys. An owlbear, you say? That is quite the hunt. And also some goblins? Did you get their ears?
Yeah, I just hand him, I guess, I
Sure.
think I had three ears.
3 ears, yes. And he will give you guys... Did I tell you how much? I forget what your starting gold is.
I start with 10, but I don't think you said how much, or I didn't write it down.
Nope, that's fine. You each have 3 ears, so you hand him the 3 ears, and he takes them, and he kind of like smells them a little, like he's doing something weird with them for a second, and he's grinning. You also notice, now that you're closer, that his hair is just all over the place. He's got like crazy person hair, like maybe Einstein, or not that Einstein was crazy, but you know what I'm saying. In addition to being noticeably injured, but he doesn't seem to care, and he works fine with his left arm. And he puts the ears under the table, and he comes back with of little pouches of gold, and he hands 30 gold a pouch of 30 gold pieces to each of you, which you guys are free to mark down on your character sheet if you'd like. For the ears.
Thank you. Was the owlbear brought in by our companions?
I haven't seen proof of the kill. Do you know who is your sergeant?
Corbin? Brackle?
Oh, Corbin. Well, I'll deal with him. I have a feeling he'll try to take the entire reward for himself. But I do appreciate the kill. I'll take your word for it. And he reaches under and tries looking for something for you guys. Here. And he pulls out a red bottle. I have a spare healing potion, normally worth upwards of 50 gold. You can have that.
Thank you.
Minor healing potion, by the way, if you're looking for
one
it.
each?
No, one for the party.
Okay. Fjorn, would you like the potion? I expect you'll be in the thick of it more than I.
Okay, I'll add it to my notes here.
Sweet. I believe...
You can use it on anyone, right?
You can, yes. I believe the healing potion is I want to say D4 plus 3 when you take it. I don't know. Hopefully D&D Beyond will tell you. It's a minor healing potion. And I think major healing potion is like some crazy amount. Like 3D4s plus something. A little bit more than you would need at this point. Although Fjorn does have many hit points. I don't know I said that as Port Figgins, but
he's got more hit points to heal than he'll need to deal with.
See, we're still kind of injured from the last go around from the.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'm sure you'll sleep off your wounds. You've already eaten and had your fill, I can tell. I can smell the alcohol on you.
Yeah.
No problem, no problem. A good night's rest will do you well. He looks you over and sees the injuries you have aren't too severe. A long rest, which would be sleeping for the night, will fully recover all your hit points.
Right.
I guess I turn to Fjorn and ask him, should we check the job board or turn in for the night? Or would you like to explore some more?
We could check the job board. We're here close by, so.
I also was curious what jobs are available.
Well, you two come back whenever you need something.
Thank you, Port Figgins. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
He goes back to screaming nonsense to possibly no one. Maybe there's people back there. You didn't see anyone, but there could be other workers.
By the way, I don't know if we're like managing the gold really picky. Should we not have left some at the tavern? Or how is...
Yes.
We have like a tab, yes. I guess, probably.
Shoot. We could retcon that.
Well, the paper as well. We could just go back and say now that we have some money.
You do have some money. Well, the thing is, the keep... Let's just say when you sleep at night, I'll calculate your daily expenses and tell you then.
Cool. So it's like a...
Yeah, it's like a daily upkeep. So when you decide to sleep, I'll charge you
ration
for the food
cost or
and
something.
whatnot. I mean, technically, you're not sleeping at the tavern, whereas that would normally be where you'd sleep in a campaign or in most D&D settings, and then I would have tied all the costs in at once, but in this situation, your board, no, sorry, your room is given to you in the quarters, so you don't have to pay for that, but you do have to. They are going to charge you for the alcohol and the parchment, but we'll just do a final cash in when you guys decide to. And it won't be that expensive. The cost of food and drink will be like maybe a silver piece. And the parchment, I want to say, I'll have to double check, but I think is actually worth. It matters if you wanted high quality parchment or low quality parchment. Did you just wanted something to write on?
Yeah, so Oris is, I guess we'll get to it later, but he wants to kind of take a journal of what's happened. So,
sure.
so
okay.
that there's
so
some
then we can
canon for all the notes I've been taking.
Certainly. So that's fine. There's higher quality parchments which would be required for spell usage, which I know you're not doing anyways because you guys aren't casting spells, and that stuff's more expensive, especially inks and those kinds of things to be writing scrolls or keeping track of spell information. But as far as just note taking goes, it's pretty cheap. So it'll probably, well, if you want to take it now, or you can wait until you guys rest. It'll be about 1 silver, 50 copper for each of you, which is not even. The way it works is 10 copper is a silver and 10 silver is a gold, so you have plenty. It's fractions of a gold coin that you've spent. So you can break it down, I think, in D&D Beyond if that's what you're interested in.
You said 1 silver and how much?
And
10 copper?
I think I said 50, but 5. I think it's. Let me just double check that I'm doing this right. I forget if it's. I think it's 10 of each, and not 100. I think silver is like dimes.
It says silver is 10 copper, and it says electrum is 5 silver.
Yeah,
and
we're not gonna deal with electrum. That's some players like to do that. Some worlds have that. We're just gonna keep things
the
simple.
gold is. Yeah, sorry.
So it's just 10, 10, and 10. I think that's how like World of Warcraft does it as well, or maybe they do it with hundreds. I forget. Either way, 1 silver and 5 copper, or 1.5 silver. Technically, you get, let's say Fjorn ate more and you got the paper, and that's why you guys paid the same price, and we'll just not split hairs.
Okay.
Now I have to break change because I tried to subtract them in D&D Beyond and it didn't do anything at all. So, oh well, I'll write it down.
Yeah, you can figure it. It's pretty minor. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You guys aren't managing like ranged weapons or anything either. Oh, I guess you guys threw darts and a lance or a javelin, but I gave them back to you. So, yeah, I mean overall your expenses are pretty minor. Continuing on.
I was gonna say, for the record, my character starts with ink and a quill. It was one of his things of starting equipment, so that's
Excellent.
why I only asked for
That's why you
parchment.
only asked for the paper, just for note taking. Awesome.
I don't know how long it's supposed to last, indefinitely, or it says 1 ounce bottle. So
Yeah, well, I'll let you know. If you say you've done something that I think required a lot of ink, then we'll worry about it. But as far as note taking goes, I'm sure it's enough ink to last you many real life months of us playing, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. What you're asking for is only worth anything in the RP world, so you can have basically an infinite supply. So I'm assuming you guys are heading to the quarters.
Yep. Job board. I want to look at the job board first, right?
Yeah, sounds good. So you guys go to the quarters. There's tents and large tents all over, bunks, military personnel getting ready for. It is starting to get a little later because these distances are not like they're relatively longer distances. Like I would say your travel when you first entered to the tavern might have been 10 to 15 minutes. And then you went to the storehouse and now the job board. So, and you ate. So we're getting closer to the evening now, so people are starting to get their stuff ready and turn in, but there's still a bit of daylight left. So yes, you also notice that there's a very large tent in the center, which is, you would assume, is the officers' quarters, and probably where Corbin said he was going. But as for the actual notice board, although I did not have the tavern built out, I do have the notice board for you guys, which is kind of cool.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So this is a large number of, well, you already learned about the 10. There we go. I'm glad I gave you guys 10 gold per ear, because that would have been embarrassing if I showed it to you.
Well, I mean, he could have ripped us off, and then we would have found out here.
That's true. That's true. So I guess you guys can take a screenshot or just take your moment to read through this if you want. I will.
Screenshot is a good idea.
Yes, because this is like a physical thing that you guys. I mean, theoretically, you could rip down the notice if you wanted, but we'll just say you are capable of remembering this information, or even so far as Oris to maybe write it down. So you can just have it.
I'll have him scribble some notes down, we'll say later.
That makes sense.
Part of my note taking. But yeah, I'm taking a screenshot now so I can sort of like try to make quick notes of the board later.
Sure.
But we'll pretend it's a memory. It's only like 6 things here posted, so.
Yeah, it's not too many. So where I have at the end of Seeking Glory or the MIA notices, they let you know that I just wrote it as a note because I didn't make an animation, but for the Seeking Glory quest, there is directions to where you would need to go within the forest. The MIA one does not. You'll have to do as it explains how you would have to get further details on the notice.
Okay.
Should I like hide part of it and be like, haha, you cannot see this part until you tell me you've turned your head?
Too late, I already screenshotted it.
All right.
No, that's fine. We can, let's see. Trying to figure out how to save my screenshot here.
I'm just going to give chickens to chat in case anyone's watching. If you are watching us play a game of Dungeons and Dragons, I hope you are enjoying it. I am willing to take criticisms. If you feel we're not doing something right, feel free to leave it in chat. Or the sound effects are free too, so feel free to put poops on if you don't like what you see.
Fjorn, do you see the one looking for fighters? This might be something of interest to you.
Yeah, I was thinking the brawl that might be fun, a daily brawl.
I imagine that would be arranged at the tavern, or we would find out more there. I guess, out of character, is Mickey still with us? Or did he just show us and leave?
I think he showed you where the quartermaster was and then scurried back to work. He knew he would be in trouble if he was gone for too long. Also, drug... Did we point it out or did you see it? I forget which it was, but you did notice a physical arena when you were near the tavern. So,
yeah, we just couldn't see too much about it. But
yeah, so it's far enough away that you don't think the two are related to each other. They're just built near each other. You can go to the arena at any time if you want more information about that.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess, yeah. Or we could just ask at the tavern, but probably, I guess, it would make sense to just go to the arena and just ask there. But I guess it's probably too late for tonight.
Yeah, it might be a good time to turn in.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to
over to the map.
Be concerned about tonight, and I was hoping to take notes of the day before or the last couple days before I forget critical details.
Okay, so you guys are gonna find your quarters and rest the night away?
Yep. I guess this is where we would get our level 2 that we discussed last week.
Yeah, for sure. This is where you would pay your $1.50.
Canonically.
Yeah, and you'd level up to 2, which I've already let you guys do. And you gain all your hit points back because it's full rest. You get your rages, you get your key points if you'd had any to have lost. Long rests are great. We haven't done any short rests yet, but long rests are fantastic. They do take 8 hours, so you have to actually sleep the night away. But I'm not 100% sure how you knew where your quarters were. Maybe you, I'm gonna guess you saw the rest of the squad and you went over, and they mentioned, or you saw them going in and they just led you to your bunks and you rested. I'm not gonna RP that too much for you guys because other than sleeping, you don't really have a purpose in that. Unless you want to RP that, I don't think you do though. So I'm gonna let you guys sleep until the morning, and we haven't done any rolls yet today, so I'm just gonna do a couple of quick rolls on how the night goes. Okay. Nothing too interesting happens. The night passes and it's in the morning, and you guys wake up and you're outside the main quarters, and it's, I don't know, 7, 8 in the morning or whatever.
All right.
I guess, so I guess in terms of like recording notes, because there wouldn't be lights, but I guess I have like a torch or something. Could I even use that and still write, or?
Sure, yeah. There's some basic amenities in your quarters. There would be like a candle that you could light and have a bit of daylight, or not daylight, a bit of writing light that's not going to bother the rest of the people in the quarters. It's large enough, everyone else gets their sleep in. Yeah, you can do what you want during a rest. In fact, I would say it was even greater than 8 hours, so if you guys wanted to tell me what you were doing, if you needed to do something outside those, like in the other 2 hours, that's something you could definitely do. Write the notes. You just want to keep track of what happened the previous day?
Yeah, I guess it was 2 days, right? Like we came in from the carriage, and then
That's true. Yeah, you came in and it was the evening, and then you slept, and then the whole day's travel. So yeah, this would, I guess technically is the third day. So yeah, sure.
couple days worth of notes, who the crew is, I guess, and just kind of what happened.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You have notes. I guess as you wake up, just giving you more options. You can definitely do whatever you want to do, but Full, Gimbal, Callie, and Maverick are all kind of hanging out, having just woken up as well. So you know where they are currently. The rest of the squad, you don't know where they are. You might be able to guess where Drug is, though.
Back in the tavern?
Possibly.
So the 3 you mentioned are like here, just kind of gathered in front of a.
They're just like talking outside. Like you came out of your quarters, or maybe you're still half milling in your quarters. Again, I'm not gonna. The quarters will be this amalgamous space that you spend your time. I'm not gonna really go over like exactly what exists in your quarters or where people are standing, but you have the opportunity to talk to or whatever you want with either Gimbal, Full, Callie, or Maverick. Not Corbin, not Tessa, not Drug. I think that's the whole crew.
So Oris goes over to the 4 and just asks if any of them know when they expect an assignment for our crew or any news.
Callie speaks up. Yeah, we don't usually know. It happens when it happens. Corbin will find us and let us know. Could be days, could be sooner.
So I guess we just find something to do in the meantime. Just kind of hang out, I guess.
You are your own people for now.
Look at this board a little bit.
Are you looking for someone to come with you? I don't have plans for today.
Yeah.
I still owe you for saving my life yesterday.
That's to Fjorn, I assume.
The both of you. The whole squad did, but you two are the only people she hasn't spoken to about it since, so.
Yeah, we could always use company, I guess.
Excellent. I'll get my
I'm not.
things.
Yes, I'm not wanting to take all the gold and everything for myself. So
I'm sure we can come to an agreement if something like that comes up. Now that you've gotten her packing her things and getting ready, Maverick decides to come up and speak with you. Oh, hi! How are you guys doing? Are you guys heading out for some kind of adventure, maybe?
We hadn't decided on anything in particular. Did you have something in mind that you were interested in?
No, I have no plans for today. I can tell you, Gimbal and Foal are not the most entertaining couple. He doesn't mean couple as I said that word by accident.
Pair.
They're clearly not. They're not incestuous.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple of interesting jobs on the job board.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you've seen them yet.
I look. Nothing I would do on my own, but if you're interested, I could help you.
there's a couple things I'm interested. Goblin Slayers wanted is kind of interesting. We had fun with the last ones, I guess.
Oh yes. Well, my understanding is that when we arrived, the goblins were dormant. They didn't even bother the elves that were here, and they just spent time living their lives, occasional interactions. But then when we showed up and built this camp here, it riled them up real good. And now they come out to attack and raid. They seem very angry constantly and don't want us here. It would be nice to remove them.
Kind of interesting.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna comment on the burrow that needs to be cleared out. I'm not sure if that implied it was goblins, but the directions were on the notice and we didn't look that closely.
You know what? I think I wrote it down and then I didn't. It is goblins. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I kind of assumed.
It's supposed to say locate goblin burrow. Located goblin burrow needs to be cleared out. I had a little problem when I was making the notice board and I missed that word. I'm sorry, guys. It is supposed to be seeking glory and it is specifically a goblin burrow. It's not a bunch of rabbits.
Well, I wasn't sure, but I just kind of assumed it was probably goblins.
Yeah. So let's not retcon it. Let's say that it didn't mention it, but Maverick knows and he explains. Yes, when they say burrow, they do mean goblin burrow. That's their natural habitat, is to dig into the ground and create a home for themselves.
Well, the 6 of us could possibly take this task on, I would hope, given our performance the other day.
Wow. You're saying Callie comes back. That's 4. Are you?
So has anybody seen Tessa?
Maverick continues to speak. Tessa, yes. She is a strange one, always keeping to herself. I'm sure if you wanted to find her, I would speak to Drug, or the crowd he hangs out with.
I was wondering, does she always keep a hood on?
She has secrets, that one, but we all do.
I'm thinking she might be trying to hide something. That's why I'm asking. Like, hide it from us.
Well, in all the time that I've worked with her, I've never known her to harm us.
I mean, something she's trying to hide, like maybe part of something she is, maybe. But, oh, that's
Well, something you guys can do the next time you see her is, and this is something that I'm not. It's just kind of like a general D&D rule that players tend to know, is that if you want to know something about something like that, you can do an insight check. It's good for, like, if you want to know if someone's lying, you can do an insight check to be like, are they telling the truth? Or you can be like, I want to, like, this person's cloaked. Can I use an insight check to know more about themselves? You can also do investigation or perception checks, but those have different role-playing connotations. For example, if you said, I want to investigate the character with the hood, that means you'd be physically touching them, and they would probably not care for that. Whereas an insight check is just your general understanding and just what you can see. So if you wanted to, the next time you see her, you can either ask her questions like that, or you could just be like, if you're curious, if you want to know more about what she looks like, you could say, oh, well, can I do an insight check? Or you could just say, can I see more about her, and then we'll do a roll and see what you figure out.
all right.
Should we try and gather the entire crew to clear out the burrow? It does say glory, which to me means risk.
You're free to ask anyone. We could try to find the others.
We should go with the full force.
You notice Foal and Gimbal they haven't been part of this conversation, but they are gathering their things and are about to leave. So if you want to speak with them, you will need to do so before they leave the area.
Yeah, I guess I call out to them and ask them what their plans are.
Sure. They come over and explain that they have plans for today, and they'll be busy.
Okay, no worries.
You could
Good luck.
try to convince them if you wanted to. It's up to you guys. You asked, and they've said no, but you can always persuade or intimidate or deceive people into doing things for you. Those are all statistics that your characters have.
Oris would not.
He gratefully
Bjorn might be
respects
interested.
their decisions.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. I think I want to try to, like, maybe not intimidate them, but I guess try to deceive them maybe into wanting to
It's funny.
change their mind.
As you step up to start to speak with them, Full already has her flask out and is kind of accepting that this is how she greets you now.
That's actually hilarious.
Oh, thanks for the drink.
Yeah, she takes it back and nods. We are busy. We don't have time for goblins today. I'm sorry.
Well, this is something that's gonna hopefully pay out pretty good. It says, I said, keep any valuables you find. I don't know what would be more important than valuables to some people.
Sure. I'll count that as a persuasion So if you can roll a persuasion, which will be the first roll of this session. We're an hour in and finally getting a roll of the dice. And what is your... is it actually 0?
My persuasion is 0.
Okay. They don't seem terribly convinced. Gimbal says, money is important, but what we're planning is more so. You guys have a good day. And they wave, and they seem kind of disinterested, but you know that that's just their personality. And they leave, unless you guys do something drastic.
What is it that they have more important?
Are you asking a character or me?
Just kind of asking the people around me.
Oh. Maverick is always quick to answer questions. Well, some of us have been in this war for some time. I'm not surprised that they have things to do. Normally I have things to do on every other day, but you've got me free. So please, lead the way. Callie nods as well. Yes, you can tell that without Corbin here, they've actually, without asking, made you two the leaders. Even though they're the ones that have been here longer, they're considering you you can tell that they're followers, that if you weren't going, they wouldn't. So they're letting you do as you do.
Should we seek out Drug, or are you guys comfortable?
We could probably use his hammer.
All right, let us look for him at the tavern.
Sure.
Perhaps can ask if Tessa is around as well.
I
don't remember which one was the tavern. Or were you
yeah,
gonna
that's
say
fine.
something?
Just that general area, and then we can worry about splitting up if it's the tavern or the arena that you're going to see. In this case, you're going back to the Black Baron Tavern. I guess I should say that it is large. It is a large building. It's a large war camp, and as far as you know, this is the only tavern. So, not that everyone is drinking. It does need to be a relatively large building to facilitate all the patrons. So you go in. It is early morning. So you notice that there aren't any people really hanging out there yet. But you do see the servers from the night before cleaning up and doing their tasks, and you see Morningstar sitting at the bar as well.
Sorry, was Drug there? Or
You
do we
don't
not
you
notice
don't
him?
see him. There's no patrons at the moment.
Okay. I guess Oris asks, goes up to Morningstar and asks if she's seen Drug or Tessa.
Hi, morning. Tessa. Do you know what she looks like?
Not particularly, no. Very secretive. Wears a hood.
Secretive, hooded individual. I think I know who you're speaking of. And Drug, I do know he was in earlier. She says, kind of disgruntled slightly. I can't believe he needs to drink this early in the morning. But he's already had his morning nip and is probably headed off to the arena for his love of blood. And maybe you'll find Tessa there as well. I think I may have seen someone by that description near the slave pens occasionally.
And so, can I ask her something
yeah.
about the slave pen? I seen on the job boards it said you take elf slaves. So would that be, would that be the slave's primary, primary slaves in the slave pen would be the elves.
Oh, sorry. I assumed that you had explored and understood what was the amenities of the camp. Yes, the slave pens. Sorry, one moment. I forget if I gave them a name. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay. Yes. Well, these forests aren't going to clear themselves. So yes, we take elven slaves and force them to chop against the very trees that are growing to protect them.
That's interesting. And you say Tessa is seen there quite often.
I've heard that a cloaked figure of your description. I'm sorry. Normally I know what goes on in this place, but you're asking a very vague question. I'm hoping I can give you at least a direction you can go in. I don't know if that person is selling slaves or purchasing slaves, or I can't tell you any more than that.
Okay. Thanks for the info.
Yes, anytime. And Maverick looks a little disappointed that he didn't get to tell you those things.
Do we see that, I guess?
Do we want to take a quick fiver?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Fine.
Okay, so you guys can kind of think over the job board or what you want to do, and we'll take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll be right back to it. Okay, guys?
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Be right back. Put some music on.
I'm back. I've had fun. I've been having fun, yes. This helps lead up to stuff, though, so. Uh-huh. Well, I don't have to watch it later, so. Oh, you know what?
That. Wow. Okay. I had the stream muted, and I was while you guys were gone. I talked for like I explained just quickly for anyone watching and was annoyed that I was muted a moment ago for the last like 3 to 4 minutes. I was talking about how this is session 2 of our campaign. The first session is available on my YouTube, which is down below or to the side or wherever the description is these days on Twitch. Feel free to click that and watch the previous session, or any future sessions that we have will also be there. Sorry, are you back, Shocking?
Yes.
Excellent. And I guess we can start back up. Quick recap: you guys are in the tavern right now. You're speaking to Morningstar. She just told you, I think, most of the information you wanted to know, and you're free to do what you want.
I guess I replied to Morningstar that we had not seen a whole camp, as it was quite late by the time we left.
Oh. Do you need another guide? You can tell she's about to start waving over one of her service guys again.
No, just feel free to point us roughly in the direction, and we should be able to find it.
Oh, sure. What are you looking for?
Scratch that. As I guess I turn and ask Maverick or Callie if they either of them know where the slave area is.
Sure. Maverick just starts like gleaming for a second because he's just happy that you've acknowledged his short little halfling self. Oh yes, I definitely know the way. I can show you anything you'd like. And Callie just nods and kind of accepts that she knows as well, but knows he's far more eager and lets him be the leader.
Then I look back at Morningstar and say, "Never mind, thank you. We should be okay."
She nods and goes back to her. Or I guess she says, "Have a good day," and returns to her books or whatever she was working on.
Maverick, lead the way.
Yes, sure. He's in a moment of stunned disbelief that you guys had finally paid attention to him. Even though, honestly, you guys did ignore him for like 2 seconds, but it affected him for some reason. Yes, I will show you the way. Would you like a tour of the entire camp, or are you just interested in the slave pens? Which I personally don't recommend as an evening trip. or not an evening trip, as a... I'm sorry, I can't find the words. My apologies as a DM. He doesn't recommend it as a form of entertainment.
Well, we're not really looking to go there as for entertainment reasons. So
Okay. Sure. Let's head out that way. Do we want to just, for brevity's sake, kind of bring you in that direction? It will be about 10-20 minute walk.
Sure.
So I'll just do this real quick. As you pass by, you do notice a tall tower, but I've cleverly, as anyone watching the stream might notice, cleverly hidden the more intimate title of what that building is, since you're moving by. You do notice a large tower, but then you move past to Can I ping? So you notice this, but then you've walked past to the slave pens. Yes, here we are, and as you look off onto them, they call them pens. There's some buildings that are it's essentially a concentration camp, we'll say. You can see elves being slovenly dragged around in chains. Some of them are being taken further to the, again, north or upwards of this on the map. I will say that also from a distance, I'll give you this too as well, which is just the general top half of what's going on, which is here, there you go. You have almost the whole map now. I guess we didn't bring you over. Here you are. Yes, so there's obviously a forest outside the camp. We knew that when you came in. And you also knew that some of the forest is magically growing too quickly. So they have clearing camps set up, which I think someone mentioned to you earlier. I forget if it was Morningstar or Maverick. But that's what we use. That's what they're using the slaves for, is that they are clearing the camps out, like just chopping away at the forests to get deeper and deeper in.
I guess we can see this from the
I'll
slave
say
pens
that when
or
you
along
walked
the way.
by Maverick Point, like you would have, when you guys were walking by, you probably would have seen the tree line. You would know you're around a forest. Let's just say Maverick kind of explained it again as you were going, because I think you did actually ask Morningstar and she explained it, so he just took the liberty to explain it, slightly better. That we have these slave pens and they're full of the captured elves. They're clearly being mistreated, but that's slavery for you, especially in this situation where they are POWs on top of being slaves. They are not being treated well, and you can tell that the taskmasters actually... I'm sorry, I actually have a little more detail I can give you guys. Yes, that's right. Oh, I forgot I had this part ready. Okay, so as you get near the slave pens, you see a tiefling man walking around barking orders. Tieflings, if you're unfamiliar with the D&D lore, they're a race you could have chosen to play as even. They are kind of like half demon. They have, like, usually, in this case, he has red skin. They could have other colors of skin, but he has red skin. He has horns, which are kind of curled a little and have like jewels, like jewelry and like chains and stuff kind of ordained on them. and they have a tail as well, but they are humanoid, and they can be scary. But in this case, he is scary. He is a scary taskmaster. He has, you can see on his hips, he has spare shackles on one hip as he walks, and on the other he has a barbed, not just a regular whip, but a barbed whip. And as he's screaming orders, you notice he stops to sit down at like a table and he's eating some mystery meat that you're not quite sure. You're not familiar to the type of meat that he's eating. But you can see that he's running the joint, and he sees you guys from a bit of a distance, and he just kind of glares down at you guys.
I see Tessa anywhere.
You don't see anyone other than slaves and this taskmaster, and there are a few military personnel helping move the people around, but overall, that's all you see there.
So I took Elvish language as my second language.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so yes, the slaves are elves. So,
Approach one and ask them something if I could.
sure. So they're penned in. So we're gonna picture this like kind of like you are going to visit someone like in the movies when you go to visit someone in jail, where they're kind of in the jail and you're on the outside. As you do approach, the tiefling immediately gets up and starts moving towards you, but you do get a couple seconds to speak with one of the elves that looks up at you, scared. What would you like to say?
I was wanted to ask if they've seen a hooded female that kind of spends some time around here sometimes. Kind of secretive type.
This is a young female elf, we'll say. She's very sickly thin and just wearing rags. And she looks up to you and shakes her head no. And as you get a little closer, or as you finish this brief interaction, the tiefling is now close enough to Taskmaster, and he starts unfurling his whip. And as soon as he does, the elven girl just bolts away from the edge of the where you were speaking to it, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I only have one gruff voice for everyone, so that's what we're doing. But he says to you, "What are you doing?"
We were told that one of our fellow soldiers hangs out here sometimes, and we're looking for her.
He still has the whip at the ready as he's staring you down. Well, if you need anything here, you should talk to me, not these things. They're monsters, you know. I have to take care of them. And he starts putting his whip back, puts it around his hip. My name is Riz Palemoon. I am the taskmaster here. I'm assuming you are new to the camp.
We're looking for one of our fellow soldiers, and could you maybe tell us if you've seen her today? She's kind of hooded, secretive type.
Seen someone? A hooded, secretive type? Are you trying to waste my time?
We really doesn't. We don't know what she is. We're just looking for her. We're not trying to waste your time.
Well, he seems annoyed, but he. Okay, give me a second to plan this out. Eventually, I'll be such a good DM, I won't have to do that. I'll just be able to improvise it on the spot. He notices that you have kind of, you're being polite at this point. So he softens a little bit. I haven't seen anyone. I don't pay attention outside the pens. If you're not here to gain as he's trying to finish his sentence, Tessa is standing beside you on your like you're looking at him through the pens, right? He's on the other side, and then you notice to your left, Tessa is maybe only up to your shoulder because you're quite larger than she is. She is standing there. Are you looking for me?
Yes, we're looking for you. We are looking for more bodies. We're wanting to take on a challenge. Job.
Okay, so I just want to recap where everyone is. I'm picturing Oris, Callie, Maverick, a little further back still, and then you, Tessa, and Riz is on the other side, kind of a little way. So as long as that's where everyone's standing, I'll continue role playing what Tessa's doing.
Works. I'm fine with that as well.
Yeah.
I would have hung back.
And it's strange because you guys, even though it's broad daylight, you weren't exactly sure where she came from. You weren't paying attention. You weren't really watching, but like you were like maybe looking at Riz for 1 second, and then you went back to look at Fjorn, and there she was. Maybe she was in the slave pens, or came from behind something, a tree maybe nearby. You're not quite sure. Bodies. You're looking to go on a mission of some sort.
And while I'm talking to her, I wonder if I could do like an insight.
Hey, you remembered what I was saying. Yeah, sure. You can do an insight check. What are you trying to understand about her?
I just want to see if I can tell more of her features of maybe.
Sure. Go ahead. I mean, it is day, and she's still wearing a cloak, so I mean that's reasonable. Yeah, it's just a. Ooh.
Wow.
You do get to see her face. She's definitely female. The hair is blonde, not white in that image. And she tries to keep her eyes to herself. She doesn't look over your hulking figure. She's that's all you get from her. That's the most you can discern. Also, let's just throw it in there. You notice that she has daggers because I accidentally told you guys that last session. So,
Right.
Yeah, we'll say you notice that she wields daggers as well. You're looking for my help?
Yeah, we want to take on a job and want to know if you wanted to share in with us.
What kind of job?
Was we going to go for the one, the burrow? Is that what you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just wanting to. The job board said something about clearing out a goblin burrow. And we could keep it valuable behind. And I thought, well, we could use.
I've seen the burrow.
Sneak.
And I can tell you right now, if your plan is to go there and fight, you'll be trapped like sardines with this many bodies. She kind of motions over to the group that she knows the other 3 are with you. 5 is way too many. We'll be shoulder to shoulder, and they'll take advantage of that.
So would 3 people be better?
She kind of straightens up a little bit. Sure. Which one's with you again?
Oris.
I'm guessing you motion in some way, and she's like, she kind of knew, but she wanted to just double check who was being left behind. I'll be here for a moment if you need to break the news to someone.
I'll go back and tell Oris that, we have too many people. Evidently, it's small quarters and it's trapped. So.
Yeah, Maverick does like spark up for a minute. Yes, of course, I knew that. Goblins are small. Obviously, their home must be made for small people. Mind you, he himself is small, so maybe he's.
And I want to say, I tell Oris I noticed she had daggers, so I'm thinking she might be able to detect traps, possibly, if she's been there before. She's secretive, so
It would be prudent to ask. Her help may be valuable. But who would we leave behind?
it'd just be you, me, and her.
Callie overhears this and she's got hands on her hips at this point. She's not pleased. Maverick looks a little defeated. Obviously, you haven't told them directly, but they can kind of hint at what's going on here.
I don't know. Should we?
It is a challenge, but we did originally ask these two.
Right. So I'm going to tell them what she told us, the other two.
That it's trapped and that it's tight
That
quarters.
it's small quarters.
Um,
Any more than 3 people would be a danger to us.
Give me 1 second. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of, for brevity's sake, kind of break down your options here. Let's just say Tessa's told you what she's told you. It's going to be tight quarters. There might be traps. She will come over and remind you. No, sorry. She won't say it. Maverick will mention that he'll kind of admit that of the 3 of them, Tessa is probably the best to handle any kind of traps. But he does bring with him the potential for healing. And Callie mentions that she is a very good tracker and actually speaks Goblin. So at this point, they are all kind of disappointed, and it looks like you can only really bring 1 of the 3 of them with you without like some extreme persuasions. So I'll leave it to you guys to kind of decide what you want to do here. There are good options all around. They will probably all assist you in a great way if this is what you're planning to do today.
It's kind of a hard decision.
You could roll for it if you guys don't want to decide between the 2 of you.
Well, personally, I believe Tessa would be better at, because I have a feeling she would have the ability to detect traps.
Yeah, she seems like the best option. I wonder if...
Did I ask her if she would even go?
I forget. I think she implied she would go because she said she would wait for you to go tell the others that they weren't going to be able to come with.
So I'm going to say we promise the others that they can help us on the next job, but this one seems to be
You're going to go with
more
Tessa.
in the lines of what Tessa. Yeah.
Okay, well, Maverick and Callie are obviously displeased. Maverick opts. Do you guys still need a guide to travel the camp? And you can see Tessa's in no mood for traveling the camp at the moment. She looks like she's ready to go.
I think we could proceed directly to the burrow.
He like kind of kicks the dirt a little. All right, well, as Tessa. All right, well, then we should get out of here. I know the way. Although you guys also know the way because you've gotten the basic direction from the message board.
Yeah, I guess.
Decisions made, and we should just do that now.
Yeah, I guess I can tell Maverick and Callie that I'm not too concerned about the loot, and as an apology, I'll offer to share some of mine with them when we get back.
Ooh, that's nice. Okay, they seem pleased. They seem less put off by what you've done. Yeah, they're fine with it. They say, "Oh, fine. You know, I can't really stay mad at you, anyways, because Callie still owes you." So she softens and she smiles at you guys, and no, she'll see you around. Maverick does like kind of a almost half bow nod out of respect, and the two of them go off in their own whatever they're gonna do.
All right, I guess we go to the burrow, and I don't know which direction that is, but our characters apparently do. So
Yes, of course. So, to briefly explain, and I'll bring us back to this forested area. If you guys wander into the forests, right, you can always just choose to go in there. You could just be like, we want to go kill things at random. You could just go into the forest and explore if you wanted to. And things may or may not happen. You may encounter certain things. Maybe you encounter goblins. Who knows what else? I'll be doing some rolls behind the scenes, and I'll let you know what you do or don't find. The burrows, you know where they are. So they're wherever they are. When you know a location, we could make a map of it, but you just have to tell me that's where you're going, and I'll know that that's the direction you're heading in. And depending on how long it is, you might still have things happen on the way. So I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you guys gather your things, gather your equipment, and start getting ready to head out to the Goblin Burrows. It's a bit of a journey, so I will do a couple of rolls and see what we come up with on the way. And because it's not the distance that's going to get you guys, why it's going to take you a bit of time to get there. It's the fact that you will be going through this forest. I mean, if it's not a road, right? So because it's what is it? I think that's it's not called rough terrain. It's called, there's another word for it. I forget what it's called. But because you're going through difficult, I think it's difficult terrain. Because you're going through difficult terrain, it slows your movement speed down, and it takes some time. So we just kind of plop you in here wherever. We're just saying you're in the forest at the moment. I felt like I had a couple more things ready for this. That's okay. Let me just do a roll or two. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, when you start going into the forest, Tessa does mention that she will have her eyes on you, and once you guys are in the forest, she kind of vanishes. You don't know if she's gone into the trees or what have you. You guys could choose to be stealthy if you want as well. I don't know. That would definitely slow you down, and you're talking about taking up. She seems to be able to do it without slowing you guys down. So don't worry about that. As you're going, let's just say as you guys are going through the forest, you are maybe, let's say, halfway to the burrows, and you break, and it's a bit of a clearing, and I don't have a map for this, so we're just going to do theater of the mind for this one. And there's like a beautiful pool of water, like a pond or a little bit bigger than a pond, in the center of this thing. So, there's trees everywhere, but then suddenly there's this large clearing with this beautiful pond, and you can see like some animals, and there's a deer on the far side. But as soon as you come in, you start feeling this. Actually, sorry, can both of you roll perception for me really quick?
Yeah. That's a 4.
Okay, so you guys actually don't feel anything. I was mistaken. You feel like
Wow.
you feel like something might, like maybe you should be feeling something. You just feel this overwhelming sense of beauty as you look upon the pond, and Tessa does appear beside you guys. She was, I guess, like in a tree or something, and kind of drops down, and she's beside you guys, and she mentions that she feels. She describes it as a scary goodness. What should we do? You can ignore it. You can continue on your way.
A scary goodness?
Yeah. Feel free to prod her more if you want more details.
Can I sense magic from, I guess, the water? Does that count as a perception check already?
So you're gonna go to, let's say the pond is about we'll say 80 feet away. We'll say between the pond and the tree line is about an 80-foot perimeter around, and you guys are at the tree line, so you can go forward towards the pond if you'd like and take a better look. You also, as you start approaching, you notice that in the center of the pond is like a small landmass with like a beautiful large tree on its own growing there. And so you guys want to, I'm going to stop you because I'm kind of assuming a lot here that you only took maybe 20 feet. Do you actually want to go the rest of the way and view the pond?
I guess I ask Tessa if she thinks we should go around it, and I guess I ask Fjorn as well.
I don't know. It's scary goodness. How could you have scary and goodness both?
Well, it's overwhelming and threatening, but kind and warm. I'm sure this makes no sense.
Maybe when you drink too much ale?
She just laugh a little to that. No, different. Like your mother scolding you. You know it comes from a good place, but you do not feel good.
So I think it's telling us it's maybe beautiful to look at, but not to get too close to it, possibly.
I think we should maybe travel around it. Not get any closer. Maybe revisit this place with Maverick, who might know more about. Seems to be have a connection with nature and might be able to tell us more about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Tessa's totally fine with that. She actually almost like shudders a little bit, but then also kind of isn't scared. Certainly, let's keep going. I know the rest of the way. Again, you guys also know the rest of the way. I don't know why she keeps saying that, but she does want to make it clear to you guys that she's been there before. To the burrow, I mean, not to the grove. But you can consider this a point that you know the existence of. So if you want to, you can now return to this point at will. So you know that this exists. and you know where it is in the forest. So I don't know if you want to just remember or write it down or what have you, but you now know the locations of the burrow and this pond with a presence that the two of you couldn't quite feel, but Tessa seemed to say was existing. And I think the only reason you trusted her was I kind of DM slipped a little and metagamed it, but that's okay. So that's fine. You guys decide to leave we'll just call it the pond for now, and continue traveling on to the burrow. And I will just make a couple of quick rolls again. Okay, interesting. Okay, so as you guys are traveling a bit more through the brush, through the wilderness, can you guys both make a survival check for me really quick? You may remember this from last session. Okay,
Man, we are rolling.
It's a good thing that these are just like role-playing rolls and not like, do you survive taking 20 damage rolls? Okay, so you guys are walking along, and Tessa comes. Normally she's disappeared. She comes by and she tells you guys to be quiet for a second. And she starts like listening, and you guys not so much. That you think, as far as you guys can tell, everything is fine. So I'm going to assume you guys do as she says and stop walking. She listens for a little bit, and then she tells you to run, and then just starts running in a different direction. Let's say perpendicular to the direction you were previously walking. Do you guys?
Yeah, follow.
Do we run in a random direction or do we follow? I guess.
Follow.
Yeah. It should be on the spot decision, so we'll say we follow.
That sounds good. So the two of you are running along. You guys can keep up with her. She's not faster than you guys. In fact, if it was up to you, Oris, you can easily catch up to her and even pass her, because as a monk, your movement speed is greater than the average person's. I think it's 40 feet a turn, whereas everybody else is 30.
Yeah.
And
I feel like it went up when I hit level 2, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think I saw it. So, yeah, you can easily catch up to her. And as you're running, you guys both manage to stumble a little and get snagged on those vines that we were dealing with last session. So you each take 1 point of slashing damage from that. But as you are running away and having listened to what Tessa said, you hear something. You hear like a rabbit or something dart out of the woods, like against the way you were running, and then you hear like a flurry of like loud, we'll say wolfen screams and tearings and thrashings, and you run for a good minute. We'll say a good minute. You hear the sounds fade off, and you guys stop and you take a break, or she stops and you guys stop with her, and she says, "We're fine now. That's an encounter I don't think we wanted."
What was it?
I can't say for certain, but there are wolves in this forest. I don't think anything unnatural about them, but a large pack is not something we need to deal with today. There's no gold in it.
Just
How far
the
off
natural.
course?
Yeah.
She says she still knows the way to the burrows. It hasn't thrown off your well, if you guys can both roll survival for me if you want. We'll see if either of you have your bearings. Yeah, we'll say 10 is the DC to keep your bearings. You guys both know where you are. You're just about 200. You'll have to make like a swing around. It's gonna add like 2 minutes to your journey, but you should be able to continue on your way, no problem.
We don't need to interfere with the natural cycle of the forest.
Excellent.
Referring to wolves and whatever else.
Yeah. You don't know how many, but it did sound like more than a few. So, I'm going to guess you guys continue on your way to the burrow. And I guess I will just make one more quick roll. Nothing else of note. You guys travel through the wilderness. Sorry, I just wanted to confirm you guys each took that 1 point of damage.
Yep.
Yeah, I marked it.
Excellent. Okay, cool. You finally get to the burrows. It's like a mound. Like it's not really a clearing per se. It's kind of, there's some like rocky formations and whatnot, but there's like a mounded opening. And it looks like you'll be able to fit in. It looks large enough for 2 people to walk in side by side. I think that's what I made it. Oh yeah, I can look at this without you looking. Let me just double check when I throw a token in here. I hope I designed this properly. No, it's a little bigger than that. Okay, so it is big enough that you can kind of spread out. Maybe you don't have to squeeze shoulder to shoulder. You'll be able to get in. You don't see any goblins on the outside of the burrows.
I guess we make our way towards the entrance. Tessa, would you like to lead in case there are traps?
You want to put the small girl in front of the 2 large men?
Just to see if you can detect a trap at the doorway. I'll go in first. I just want to make sure there's no
Yes, I understand.
doorway.
She does. She walks over and she does her thing, kind of like feeling around the entrance, stomps the ground a few times, and waves you guys over, saying there's nothing the matter.
I guess I'll cover the rear.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just for brevity's sake, I'm going to bring you guys. Ooh, did that work? Yeah, okay. Over here. Boop. So you guys should be in a cave now, or the burrow. Is that what you see?
Let's see.
Uh,
Yes.
I guess
hallway.
so. Yep, just a hallway.
How do I... Sorry, I'm just trying to remember how to give you guys control again. Controlled by... Okay. And... How are you guys doing hit points again? I mean, I know that the stream can look... It should update, I'm assuming, when you guys take that damage.
I just put it on my token with the little
Yeah,
bar thing.
I appreciate that. If can you?
For some reason, the third bar is the red one that's first on the icon.
Oh yeah,
If
it
you're
is
setting
backwards.
your settings. Yeah, I don't know why it's backwards. There's one with a heart and it's green, which makes no sense. Red bars are always health, so I don't know.
So was it 23? I forget how many hit points you have. I'm sorry.
I have 23, but I'm down to 22.
Awesome. Okay. You can't even tell that you're hurt. You have so many hit points. Oh yeah, I wanted to check really quick if the bar is updating, because I know it wasn't.
If it's like 2 to 3 minute delay, then it might not have even picked it up yet.
That's interesting because Oris is down a hit point, but Fjorn isn't. But then when I click it, view character sheet. Yeah, it still says you're at full there. So I don't know. It doesn't matter to me too much. You guys got your key points. That's cool too. And your
Yeah, I
rages.
didn't have to explain that.
Your what have you. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay. Give me 1 second to think quickly how I'm going to represent goblins. Is there like a sweet free asset that I can... Because I don't think it's a spoiler to tell you that there will be goblins in the goblin...
What? No way.
in the burrow. Will there be goblins? No, there are no goblins. You go in and it's only beholders, and they immediately turn you to stone. Okay, goblins and kobolds. Yeah, there's got to be something good in here. Come on. Ah, there we go. So let me pull this guy in. This is what a goblin will look like to you. Don't worry, that's not actually where he is. I just wanted to confirm that you guys are tokens, but the actual goblin will be will look like a kind of a character when I plop them in. Okay. We got about an hour left. Let's see how far we can get into this burrow. Okay. So when we're outside of combat, you guys are kind of free to move, and as you move, I will reveal area and and what have you. And if you want Tessa to move, you'll have to talk. You have to speak to her. Well, she'll like naturally follow you, but she won't do anything other than like she'll follow you and she'll fight. But if you want her to do anything out of the ordinary, you'll have to speak with her.
So move up.
Sorry. One more thing that I want to mention to you guys is that it is, although it was daylight outside, the light is kind of dimming as you go in. Goblins have dark vision and very rarely will have like torches or light in their homes. So because you guys are both human and don't have any night vision of your own, you will encounter a lot of situations where you'll have disadvantage to hit, maybe, because I forget exactly how it works. I don't want to be too mean and just say every time you attack. I think that is how it works, though. I think you might actually would normally be disadvantage on every...
Was that even with a torch?
It's if you guys want to have a torch, yeah, then that's not a problem anymore.
I have torches, so...
Yeah, so do I. I was
waiting for me to shut up so you could light your torches.
No. I was actually talking before and I forgot I was on mute, so.
Okay, excellent. Yes, you guys can both light torches. I think your inventory tracks how many you have. It's up to you if you want to keep track of your torches or if you want me to just charge you at the end of the day. Like, assuming you resupply at some point.
You know, they cost like 1 silver by the looks of it.
They don't cost much, so I mean...
And I have 10 of them. I don't know how long they last for. So.
Yeah.
Well, I have 10 of them. Right.
It says an hour, so. Yeah, same. So, I guess we.
Yeah. Don't worry about keeping track of you eating them, but we'll we'll worry about refreshing them when you return, or if you don't want to buy them, then we'll deal with it then. But I'll try to keep the bookkeeping as minimal as possible. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You guys can just take. I guess you have D&D Beyond. It's not hard to take one torch away.
Fjorn's battle axe, is that not a two-hand weapon, or
So a
is he
two-handed
one-handing
weapon
it?
can still be held in one hand. It just can't be wielded in two hands. So when it comes down to once we enter combat, he will have to drop the torch to. You don't necessarily have to extinguish it, but you will have to drop it on the ground. To if you want to put it in your pocket, you'd have to extinguish it, or you're going to burn yourself. But you can let it.
I was gonna say with Oris, I can just do the one-hand version of the attack, right, and then
Yes, definitely.
keep the torch in my other hand.
Yes.
So, I mean, potentially, there's no need for Fjorn to light one on it. I can light the path.
If that's the way you want to do it, yeah. And then he'll only be able to see 30 feet around. I think it's 30. Is it 30 feet?
It says 20 foot radius and then dim light for an additional 20 feet. So I would have to. He
Okay.
would have to, I guess, either stay behind me or beside me to the point where,
Yeah.
like within a 5 foot radius or something. I guess it's up to Fjorn if he wants to be at the ready for battle or
Probably be a good idea.
Okay.
so.
So only Oris is lit a torch, and Tessa does not opt to do any kind of torch lighting as well. She's gonna keep her hands free with her daggers.
I'll just mention to stay close to me as I'll keep the light for the group, and we'll proceed, I guess, slowly into the burrow.
Sure. You guys can move up a bit more. I guess I'll just start giving you area.
And I guess we just ask Tessa to keep an eye out for traps as well.
Yes, she is doing her general perception. So as you can see, I guess you can kind of move into the center of this little area here. The burrow does fork immediately because, people love forks. I'm kind of disappointed a little with the quality of the tiling here. So what I did to try to make things a little nicer for you guys is I subscribed to Incarnate for 1 month to see if I could make some better maps that way, and this is one of the maps I made, and I don't know how happy I am with the way it turned out.
Is there like a scaling thing with the, because it just looks like it's stretched?
It
smaller,
does. That
lower
is what it
images.
looks like. So maybe I can figure that out myself down the road with like any future maps, or maybe I can fix this one. I thought I would let you know that.
That's fine. We'll just say it's because the torch doesn't light very well.
Yes, so as you come in, the light of the outside is the only thing you get, so then it starts getting dimmer and dimmer. The earth is soft and malleable. Probably why the goblins chose this place to be their home is it was easier to dig it out. So you can feel that. I would say it's about 20 feet above you is the ceiling, so it's not claustrophobically small, but it is relatively tight quarters. Tessa mentions to you guys that you shouldn't be surprised if some of these goblins aren't armed, because this isn't like a fighting operation. We're entering their home.
Right. But but we're here to do a job, and that's to clean it out. So
Sounds good. Up or down?
we go
Left
up,
or right?
Left or right? Yeah.
left.
Left it is.
Okay, so to save us some time here. Oh, come on. Come on, Revealage. There we go. So the black is nothing.
That's fine.
Like, you can see where the wall is, and then give me 1 second to, let's put you guys like here-ish, if that's okay with you guys. Before
Sure.
you guys can shift around about like 10 feet-ish if you want, if you don't like that positioning, because you can decide where you land up. But I am going to throw some baddies in here for you guys. This is, so as you enter the room, obviously I don't have anything else on the map, but I can explain to you what you see. Is you see like crude like bedrolls, like strewn around, like you might guess that this might be like where they would normally sleep, or just like a general quarters. Goblins, you know, not known for being the most dainty of races. So if you give me a second, can I copy paste? Does that work? Okay. So man, this area is much bigger than I originally thought it would be. But that's good. It gives you guys some ability to move around. Although I have a feeling this will just get really like everything will just like wind up in one big ball anyways. Although I am going to grab this guy. They don't actually hold crossbows. They fight with short bows, but at least you'll know that this one's that has his bow out. Unless they have... I don't see... Okay, let me grab this one too. Okay. This is where you're like, how many are there? Can you stop? Okay. When you enter, you see 7 goblins, and you see some of them are armed, and then you notice these 2 right here, if I can ping. I try to represent them differently. They are unarmed. They're not even wearing armor. They don't have a sword. They don't have a shield, and they look scared. These ones pop up from where they were resting, and they have their standard sword and board. And then there's one in the back with a bow drawn. And we will roll for initiative, if you guys don't mind. Oh. Okay. Ooh,
Wow.
That's pretty slow. Okay, so... The first one up is the goblins, actually. They rolled really well, but I would argue that that's probably good for you because they're going to close this distance. Like this guy in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to move up to about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to move to here. This one's going to get into combat. This one's gonna be here. This one's gonna move but not really do anything. This guy's gonna move about here. And the ones that can't get into combat for their action, they will take the dash action, which is something that anybody can always do, but it's your action. It means you're not attacking this turn, to get your movement a second time. So when you're running through the forest, like when we were running through the bushes, if we want to be technical, you guys were all moving 30 plus another 30 every 6 seconds, and then Oris was doing 80 total. But because we were in rough terrain, you guys are all having that, so then you're only doing irregular. But if you're like booking it down the street, you can run 60 feet a second, or 60 feet every 6 seconds, which is honestly pretty darn fast. But they're going to close the gap with that move. He will shoot. These guys aren't dashing. So we've got a guy on Oris that's going to attack, a guy that's on Tessa but can't attack, and these guys. Then we have a guy on Fjorn that can't attack. He can't attack, and we got the bow. So the short bow is going to draw back and fire at Fjorn because you are the biggest and scariest of the group. Oh, I also want to. Let me just double check. Yeah, everyone's within the torch. So
yeah, okay, thanks. That was I was about to ask. We can see all 7, I guess.
Okay, so in dim light, you can still kind of see, but not very well. They're not like invisible. How far did the torch? You said 40 feet dim light.
20, yeah, 20 full light and
1,
another
2,
20 dim.
3, 4. Okay, so technically you can't see this guy in the back, so you don't know he's there. I guess I probably should have done that and kind of brought things in, but that's okay. We'll worry about getting light mechanics working in some later installment of our D&D playthroughs. But you can see the dim light lets you see shapes. You know that there's something there, and this arrow's coming at Fjorn because he's the biggest, and it will hit you for 3 points of damage. You take an arrow to the knee and you're done adventuring. No. It just like it comes by and it grazes your bicep and you just kind of flex it out and you take those 3 points of damage. Do you want me to manage your hit points?
I put it on the sheet.
Okay, that's good because if anyone is watching, they can scroll to the left of the screen. It should show the active HPs of everybody. Then there's the one that's going to swing out at Oris. Oh, and he misses. He misses big time. So he throws his he kind of like he comes charging at you, and he kind of trips at the last second and slashes. And you do one of those like martial art movie dodges where you just kind of like move 1 foot and the sword just goes right by you. And then you step back into place again. Not phased. So, who would be next? It's Shulking, and then it's actually going to be Tessa, who rolled poorly, but better than a 6. And then
aren't there 2 goblins like that within attacking range of
these other 3 goblins? These 3 goblins all had to dash.
Okay, yeah.
So that's it. You're done taking damage for this round. Well, not too bad for first round, but things will start getting worse if you guys don't slay these things. But you're level 2, and I'm pretty confident that you guys will be fine. So go ahead, Oris or Shulking.
All right. I guess I'll attack the one that just attacked me with the quarterstaff. I guess I'm one-handed right now. If I drop the light, does it go out or?
No, it won't. So
okay.
In this situation, you're expecting them to come at you, so maybe it's worth it to drop it.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll drop it in place, and then I guess that doesn't count as my action, right? So I still have my regular action, and I don't.
There's
even
a
need
list
to move.
of free actions.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I was reading that stuff.
Dropping, picking up.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure.
A bunch of them. So, yeah, you're fine. It doesn't affect your turn.
Cool. And then I guess I'll use the bow staff on the one that just tried to attack me, which I'm assuming is the one right in front of me.
Good. Yep, it is.
And I think I have to do that roll, which is a 17.
Yes, that hits. You go ahead and roll damage.
And I hit him for 7.
7 damage. That is enough to kill this guy. So you hit him, and you swing your bow staff, and you clock him right in the neck. Like, I think the last couple days ago you hit a goblin in the temple and you blew his brains out. This time you got him like right in like the third and fourth vertebrae. I'm going to pretend I know that that's right. And it strikes him, and it immediately you hear a crack and his body goes down. And it's funny because you can swear you see it blink a couple times when it's on the ground, but it's dead. So that one is toast. I'm actually going to just drag the... yeah.
Okay.
You can't see him anymore, right?
No.
Okay.
You probably... Okay, whatever. It's fine.
What?
I
Sorry?
guess...
oh,
with
you're
my
saying
move-
I should have...
Oh, you could have just marked him with an X or something, but it's fine. That works too. It's less clutter, I guess. It doesn't really matter.
Give me... I'm just looking quick because there are some, like... If I can quickly find, like, a dead goblin. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that thing. That works too. I guess with my... I still have my move action, and then I can do
Yes.
my bonus action, right? So I think with my move action, how far can I go? Can I like...
Well, keep in mind you are within 5 feet of the goblin on Tessa, and it will get an opportunity attack if you move outside of its 5 feet. So you can move around it if you want, without invoking the opportunity attack. But if you want to move, say, here, it'll get a chance to swing at you.
Wait, how do I... What do you mean move around it?
If you were to move, like, around him but stay within 5 feet, he doesn't get... Well, moving here would give this the upper goblin an opportunity attack. You can kind of, like, shimmy around him as long as you're still always 5 feet away from him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that guy. Yeah, I guess I'll just use unarmed strike bonus action for...
And swing at the other goblin?
Yeah, for free, and swing at the other goblin.
Sounds good to me. We'll go ahead and roll to hit. An 8.
That's an 8.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it. This goblin is gonna... You come in with, like... I guess you have a free hand now. Oh, no, you didn't. You have to do it like a kick or a knee or whatever. So let's say you come in with, like, a sweet, like, Ung Bak elbow. And you're coming in hard, but then he just, like, takes it in the shield. And it doesn't phase you, but he kind of comes back and he's a little shaken by it, but no damage. Next up is Tessa, right? Yeah, she rolled poorly, but better than a 6. I said that. So give me a second here to roll some dice. She scuffles with this goblin. She brandishes both her daggers, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna flavor that. She jumps like onto the goblin and stabs him into the chest, and the goblin kind of shuffles back a little, and she jumps back, and it starts bleeding out, and it drops to one knee, but it is as damaging as she has hit it. She even like screams out a little, like, ah! No, that sounded like a goblin. It was much daintier than that. It sounded like a woman's scream, not a me trying to mimic a goblin's scream. It sounded appropriate for the character. And the goblin takes a large amount of damage and looks terrible, but is still standing. And then we will go to Fjorn's turn.
I'm going to attack the one that's in front of me.
Sounds good to me. Oh baby. Yes, that hits 100%. 100% connected. For 13 points of damage. Yes. That is so much damage. These goblins do not know what 13 points of damage is. That's an absurd amount of damage to their minds. Especially this goblin's mind, which is now in 2 pieces as you cleave through just the top half of its head. Like you get it like at eye level. And luckily, you just barely, like, one ear is completely intact. So you're good. You're good for after the fight. And he's definitely toasty. So we'll just grab that gobbledygook right there. Sweet. So 2 goblins down. It is back up to the goblin's turn. This goblin's going to move in to Fjorn. This goblin's going to stay on Tessa because she's the one that hit him. This goblin's going to move forward about 10 feet and get ready to take another shot. This goblin, and then the unarmed goblins are going to run in. And this one, yeah, with the dash action, they can both make it here. And what they'll do is they'll actually scavenge. They're screaming, they're upset, but they'll go down and pick up the sword from the unarmed goblins. So now they're wielding a sword. They don't pick up the shield, and they cannot quickly don the armor. So they're still weaker than a regular goblin, but they're ready to cut you up. They just won't have a chance to swing on anyone this turn. So we'll have 1 goblin attack Fjorn, 1 goblin attack Tessa, and the arrow from the 3rd goblin. So I will just roll to Fjorn. That is an 11. I'm going to guess that does not hit you.
14.
Awesome. We'll roll on Tessa. Same thing. Nope, she's fine. And then the arrow will be on Oris this time. He turns and sees, even though you both killed a goblin, he's panicking and he just picks at random. And he fires a 16. Does a 16 hit you?
Yeah, I have 15 AC.
Oh, okay. Man, they're rolling terrible for damage. You take 3 points of damage. This one, you feel it this time. This one also comes by and wings your arm, but you don't just flex it off. It's like it's starting to bleed a little, because 3 damage to you is a little more than it is to Fjorn. And now we're on you, Oris.
Yeah, I'm stuck with the disengage reaction thing every time if I try to move, so I guess I gotta go for the one that's beside me with just a regular attack.
Well, like I said, you could move up 1 space. If your option was, if you were thinking of attacking the fresh guy with your main attack.
Yeah, that's a better idea, because the other one's almost down, and no, you know what? I'm just gonna hit the one beside me anyways first.
Okay, go for it. Roll to hit. Oh damn, yeah, he hits. He takes that hit. 5 points of damage. Okay, so this is a good amount of damage. Oh, this is the one that was hurt though. So yeah, he was down on 1 knee, and you coup de grace this guy. You come down hard on the base of his skull, just hit him, and it makes this thwack, like this kind of almost satisfying, except your character doesn't really care for it as a character wise. But yeah, you love it. It just sounds like the sound of battle, and it is beyond concussed. It's bleeding out its ears, and it crumples over. And Tessa is pleased. She's happy because I didn't RP it, but the 2 of you did dodge goblin slashes, so she appreciates that you've slain the goblin that was going to be causing her trouble in a second there.
Okay, so is there a way for me to move, say, here without triggering any disengage actions? I don't think there is there?
You can. If you move this way and then up, you'll be in contact with this guy, but he won't get a chance to hit you because you'll still be within 5. Getting within 5 doesn't give them an attack. It's when you leave.
Sorry, cat tangling on my headset.
So you can move 2 spaces to the right to be beside Fjorn, and then up 2 spaces.
Yeah.
And
okay.
that won't cause opportunity attacks.
I'll do that, and I'll use a key point to take the dodge action.
Oh, okay. So you're purposely putting yourself in the middle.
Patient defense. Yep.
Patient defense. All right. So now that you have dodged, the goblins will have disadvantage on you. all of them, which is pretty sweet.
Yes, any attacks.
So do you say
until my
something?
next
Do you
turn.
like threaten them? Like, ugh.
Yeah, I kind of move into the middle and taunt them and then
Take
yeah,
a sweet like
focus on
martial
dodging.
arts pose, ready to wax on, wax off these sons of bitches. Okay, sweet. So you're there. I believe it's Tessa next. She has no qualms with slaying goblins, so that's annoying. I'm going to take this corpses out when they get in the way. And she is going to do her thing on this goblin here real quick. Yeah, that's super good. Yeah, she connects with everything this time and just rolls awesome. And this guy was not prepared. I mean, it's not going to be hard to hit an unarmed goblin. She comes in and it's quick, and she just stabs in like multiple times, like in different vital points, and you guys don't really notice what she does, but you do see it, and she just kind of and then suddenly the goblin is just punctured and perforated and squeals as it was not really meaning to get into a combat today. Ooh, and down it goes. That is a dead gobbly. And then she'll just stay where she is because she likes having Oris patiently defending her. And we're on Fjorn.
Oh, I guess I'll attack the one right in front of me again.
Sounds good. Oh, an 8 does not hit him. So you come in, you swing that great axe down, but he watched the last one. He kind of ducks. He's like, he knows that's where. So as you come over, you get the top of his head, like one singular hair was like sticking out the top, and you just take that off, and he just kind of looks at you like proud of himself, even though he's probably not long for this world, but is not entirely aware of that. He thinks he's winning. All right, so that would put us back at the. Sorry, unless you wanted to move or something. I'm assuming your turn is done.
Yeah, I think I will move up
Sure.
right there.
Sounds good. So this guy will probably swing at you then on his turn. So we're back at goblins. We got this guy. He's gonna fight our patiently defending, almost taunting guy, and then we're gonna have our unarmored goblin. Oh, I just noticed there's a corpse on your head. Sorry about that.
It's probably like a layer thing. You could probably just move them underneath.
Yeah, I could. I'll just move them away.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I kind of like that the corpses are slowly cleaning up naturally as well. So we've got 3 goblins. We got one that's going to shoot at. We're going to have one that's going to shoot at Oris, another that's going to stab at Oris, and then the third is going to swing at Fjorn. So we'll do the swing at Fjorn first. Oh, he rolls really well, 20-something. So he's going to hit you. He rolls poorly for damage. 4 points of slashing damage. He gets you on the leg, and you just kind of shrug it off, and you look at him. As you take those 4 slashing damage points. Okay, so we got the goblin swinging at Oris with disadvantage. Ooh, he rolls really well, though. He still hits you with a 20. And he rolls high for damage. You actually take 6 total damage from this one. As you do your patient defense, but he just gets super lucky. He misses you, but then when he goes to pull his arm back, he accidentally catches you in the rib. And you just take it along your side, and you're hurting. And then the third one notices that you're weak and actually turns and fires at Tessa instead. Split the damage a little bit. And it doesn't matter. I should have said it. Never mind. No, that one's coming at Oris as well, and he magnificently defends against it, and the arrow goes flying wide. Thematically, I should have rolled first. Is what I should have did, because it's way cooler if the goblin shot at Oris. I just didn't want to kill you outright. Anywho, It is your turn, Master Martial Artist Oris.
All right, I'll use my regular attack on the one that just got me good.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's good. He's hit. And that's lethal.
Get wrecked.
That is a ton. You actually like do this like sweet combo move this time where you like you strike like his knee with like a forward swing, and then you bring the back swing in and you hit his other leg, and then they both crumple, and then the third swing comes in and just completely strikes down on his face, head, jaw, boom, crush, and yeah, he's super no longer living.
All right. I guess I can now move and use my bonus action on Crossbow Boy or Short Bow Boy.
Definitely, yeah, go for it. Hey,
Sorry, it's unarmed strike. Follow up.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. That hits for sure. 6 points of damage. Ooh, that's almost enough to kill him. So, what do you want it to be? You want it to be a kick?
Yeah,
Actually, sorry.
The special move is to just follow up with the kick to the hip.
Actually, I'm sorry. Can you roll me another d20? Because you are going to be outside that torch's range. So you're in the dimmer lights. You actually have to attack him at disadvantage. I hate to pull this back from you.
Yep.
If you do miss, I'm going to still say you did some damage, but it's going to be less. Never mind. You definitely connect. You definitely hit him. You definitely got him good. He tried to like dip into the darkness, and you were like, "No dice." I fought, and you track him, and that foot just gets him. He's not dead, but man, he stumbles for a second, and his like arm like almost drops the bow to the ground. You can like actually the arrows he has like holstered behind him like all fell out of his quill, and he's just got the one left. Tessa is going to take her turn, and I think she's actually going to come and just come up and give this guy the old 1-2. Actually, yeah, sure. She knows it's killing time. Ooh. Okay. She did not have the best swings there. She just barely missed with both of them. So the dagger came in. He kind of stepped it back. I don't know how, because he's dying. And then comes in with the other one, and it gets under his arm, like, you know when you like fake stab someone in a play, and she pulls it back out, and it actually doesn't get any flesh at all. Somehow he just like miraculously survives all the stabbings. And we're at Fjorn.
Oh, attack the one in front of me.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's good. Into the wall, dead. Whoops, not that one. I need another corpse. You get him with like an uppercut swing that like not only kills this completely unarmed, like not prepared for it goblin, he just goes like flying from the impact, and his corpse is crumpled on the back end of the room. This one little goblin has his turn. He'll attack Tessa, but he's gonna have disadvantage because a bow is no good in close combat. Yeah, he rolled one good dice and one bad dice, so yeah, he tries his best after like masterfully evading the attacks, fires off that shot, and Tessa doesn't even notice it as it just like flies off into the cave. And I'm not gonna make you roll it because it's obviously over. So Oris, I'm guessing you just attack him. You don't have to roll it.
Sure.
You're not doing anything weird, are you?
No.
You could.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm just gonna mention it. It is a rule in the game that if you ever defeat, and monks actually are really good at this, an enemy with unarmed strikes, you can choose, you have to announce it, that you're purposely trying to do non-lethal damage. and it will knock them out, and then you could potentially capture them and interrogate them or what have you. So this is, I mentioned it because if that's something you guys want to do, this is a pretty sweet opportunity where you could just take 2 unarmed strikes, telling me that they're non-lethal, and I mean, you're gonna hit. And so then we'll just say, if you wanted to do that, you could have a captured goblin.
I think Oris normally would, but we're on a mission to clear out the nest, so...
Sounds good.
Not this time.
All right. Well, I'm not going to make you roll it because it's at 1 HP, and you all 3 would get turns still. So, I mean, someone's killing that thing. So we're just going to say, for brevity's sake, that you got in there with that quarterstaff, and you, like, he was, like, kind of huffing a bit, and you just kind of, like, you kind of, like, brought your quarterstaff to its neck and kind of forced it to the ground, and it just, like, didn't even fight back. It just kind of, like, went to the ground, and it just was looking up to you, and as it went to take its last breath, you just, like, finish it off, just, like, into its windpipe, and it's done. Almost mercifully, like crushing a bug. And so that's 7 dead goblins. You guys can... I'm guessing you take their ears?
Yeah.
Money.
So you guys take your time here. Sorry. You guys go to the corpses and you cut their ears off and you string them up. We'll just say your group has a collective 7. You'll worry about divvying up the cash later. What would you guys like to do?
Oris will go back and pick up the torch, assuming it's still lit.
Yes, you can do that for sure.
Alright, there. I went to where I left it and picked it back up.
Sounds good.
And then I guess I'll move back into the middle of the room.
Awesome.
Another fork.
So
It's not a fork, actually. Sorry.
Ooh. Ah.
My apologies. I should have given
No worries.
I should have given you a little deeper into the wall here. Maybe I should like give you to the darkness so you know that. I don't know. Doesn't matter really.
Yeah, I guess we'll continue on unless anyone wants to turn back.
Tessa does seem concerned that you are wounded.
should I use my minor healing potion on you now? Or just wait?
Yeah, I'm debating if I guess we probably can't get a jump on the goblins, so like the battle will just start and it might eat up an action at that point. So this is out of character, I guess.
If you guys want to try to sneak up on stuff, you guys can let me know.
It's tough when we have the light and they don't need it. So
It's true, but that it would be based on your rolls.
So I guess I'll give him my
Sure.
minor healing potion to use whenever he wants.
Feel
yeah,
free
I guess
to.
I might as well use it since it's being offered. Reluctantly use it.
Do you remember? What the stats are on it? Did you actually find it in D&D Beyond?
I put it in my sheet, but it didn't say how much it did.
All right, give me 1 second then. I know it's a D4 at least, and then it's some plus to it. I forget. I'm just gonna see if I can find it really quick. Equipment. I should probably know this stuff if I'm handing out potions, right? Oh my goodness. That's stupid. I'll just Google it.
All I see when I search is potion of healing greater, superior, and supreme, and I assume it's none of those.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess there isn't a minor. There's only a regular. So you actually get 2d4 plus 2, which is a ton of hit points, honestly. But that's why they're 50 gold normally. So yeah, feel free to roll 2d4 and then add 2 to it. And hopefully that heals you a large chunk. It could heal you only as much as 4. So 6, that's good. It's a good chunk of healing.
That big hit back.
Excellent. You swig it down and you feel quite a bit better. We've got a little bit of time left, or did you want to cool off here and wait for the rest of this for next week? Because we got about 10 minutes left.
I was gonna say we can move up, but I don't know if there's combat and if you want to end at the start of combat.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We can move up.
If you guys want to, if you guys are into it, right now, let's keep going.
We get 10 minutes. We'll creep in a little further.
Sounds good to me. So I'm gonna give you some more. So these you go through every time you go through these tunnels now. This is the second tunnel or third tunnel, I guess, if you want to count the original entrance. That you've kind of. Come on, let me ping. So you did this tunnel, this tunnel. I call them tunnels, but you know what I mean. They're like a passageway, but they're obviously a tunnel because you're in a burrow, right? If it's not a room, it's probably a tunnel. It's the same idea. It's still 20 foot high as you're going through, but you're wary of what could be in here because it's dark and you're going through, and Tessa's trying to stay close and keep an eye on you, and there's nothing to worry about in this tunnel, but she makes it clear to you that the tunnels are where you need to be the most alert.
For traps.
Yes, is what she's implying. Or surprise attacks, whatever. She's saying this is where you're most vulnerable. Whereas when you're in a big room, it's it's not such a big deal. Well, you always want to be alert. You don't want to be dead.
So I guess we'll move slowly and
sure.
Give Tessa time to look for the traps as we move on each little bit at a time.
So, we can open up into some room here. So, you guys, because you just had a fight, you guys get to about here-ish, and you can see into this room, right? And this time, since you've been kind of taking your time and slowing down a bit, you can kind of see into the room a good ways before you actually go in. And this room, you can kind of tell that because of the way it's opening, you're kind of expecting this to be a little bigger than I mean, obviously I can see more than you can. But it appears to be very similar in nature. You see some sleepy gobblies and some beds. It's another probably like quarters or a place where the goblins were sleeping normally. So I'm going to put these 3 here. And there's some unknown... I'm actually sorry. These 3. But they haven't quite noticed you yet. And you can't see any further into the room, so you don't know how many more there might be. But you suspect that there's at least... that this isn't the only amount of goblins. So I'm giving you a quick second to pause and consider your options. They haven't noticed you. So if you wanted to do some kind of sneaky action, you could back out and maybe go the other way. You could yell loudly and see if they kill you. You could, I mean, it's a D&D. You can do whatever you want. So, yeah, I'll leave it to you guys. Or we can still option to stop at any point. So it's up to you guys what you want to do.
Hey, Tessa, do you have any traps of your own?
Well, I don't have traps, but I do have something I could maybe do. You want me to come up with a plan?
I was just wondering if you had any traps we could try to lure them into it. But
Well,
if you have any suggestions.
she kind of reaches into her cloak a bit, and she pulls out a vial. I have this. It's flammable. If we want, we can trick them to come forward. I can lay it on the ground, and then we could light it, if you're interested.
That sounds interesting.
What effect might that have? Could that collapse the tunnel?
It's not going to explode, but it will be hot. If we're worried about ourselves, I think the only thing we'll have to truly worry about is smoke filling the rooms, but it might alert our presence to more of their kind.
Maybe before we get trapped from both ends, we should not use that strategy. Although if there were some in the other direction from where we came in, and they didn't hear the previous battle, then is it likely to alert this? Is this likely to alert from even further?
Oh,
Is it louder than the...
It's not louder, but it is going to create a lot of smoke, which will travel through the tunnels.
So there's no like vertical. We're not like descending deeper as we go.
No. I guess I'll mention that everything has been flat and level so far. Or were you asking the DM?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if it's descending, then the smoke would just go
Would go out
to
but
the exit. Yeah.
It would go up. It has been level so far, so it will go out. You're right, and it will go inwards an equal amount, which wouldn't be. It won't go like all the way through. You're right. It won't like fill the entire cavern, but it might. Goblins are known for their sense of smell a bit, so you could see. You could. She doesn't know. She's not like an expert at goblins. She's just telling you. She's just kind of guessing. She's just saying, I got fire. You want some fire? We could do the fire thing. But she doesn't know what kind of consequences it will bring. And then you did mention looking the other way. You don't actually know if you've alerted them or not. No one checked. You guys didn't even search the room.
It's true. Fjorn, do you have any ideas?
We didn't search the lot first. That's
All right.
I'm kind of interested in what's in that first room. No, we didn't.
I thought I would tickle your fancy. I know I've played D&D games where they always loot the corpses. And the DM has to be like, you don't find anything. They're just corpses. But people will be like, I have to loot everything. If it's nailed down, I want it. And then you guys were just kind of like, let's get to the killing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. We can do that.
We kind of know what's ahead of us. We haven't alerted them, so let's kind of sneak back into the first room, see if we can't find something.
I just nod, and we can make our way back to the entrance, and
Okay.
then I guess slowly proceed in the opposite direction.
If you guys are going to move away from the goblins, I'm going to ask that everyone does a stealth check. Including Tessa. Fjorn? Oh boy, we are stealthy today. All right. Yeah, you guys are fine. As far as you can tell, the goblins are not aware of your presence. And you can go back to this room. A little time has passed, and there are no additional goblins coming your way, so... Oh, we're going all the way to the entrance? Yep, sure, that's cool.
Was there another room? This is where we were going, right?
Find anything there, did we?
So the main... Can I somehow, like, draw a shape? Sure. This was what I considered a room. This is where the living quarters were. This was a tunnel here. Do you guys see this?
Yep.
So tunnel entrance in, and then it branched off, and then this was a tunnel, and then that larger section is where there were beds and stuff, which are like dirty bed rolls, and they don't have furniture per se, but
We were going back to the entrance to go in the opposite direction. Is that
Is
not
that-
what we were planning?
We're gonna check this first for.
Oh, okay.
So let's look. I guess we have. What do we roll for checking?
yeah, sure. So it's an investigation check. I like to ask that when we do checks like this, that like one of the like funny DM tropes is like someone will go, "Oh, there's a grate. I want to force it open," and the big strong barbarian will be like, "Okay, I'm gonna do a strength check," and you go, "Okay, roll," and they roll a 1, and then the weak person goes, "Well, now can I try?" And then they roll, and then they get it, and then you're like, "Well, that doesn't make any sense." So when there's a roll, a skill roll like this, I like to say that we just do one roll, not. There's only 2 of you, so this isn't that big of a deal. But if sometimes when there's a party of 4 or 5, everybody wants to take a try, and eventually someone's gonna hit the jackpot, right? But if you want, and this would make a lot of sense, you can help. There's always the option to help. It's one of the, like dashing. You can use your action to do help, which gives the other person advantage on whatever they're doing. So in this situation, there's no action economy, but we'll just say one of you will roll investigation and the other person is helping, which makes sense because one of you is a torch and one of you doesn't. So whoever has the best investigation, I'm guessing.
I'm just a +1.
-1. So
Okay, I guess I'll roll it.
So you can roll with advantage.
So it's the 13, and then I actually have a +1, so it's 14 is the actual number. Because the advantage. So the first roll was a 1. I just did that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, I see what you did there. Okay. So you loot through the corpses. Let's say corpses too, why not? I mean, you already kind of went through the corpses because you took their ears. That's why I'm giving you guys the ears, so that you're like, hey, I've already gone through the corpse. I don't need to dig through his intestines or something. Which some people want to do in Dungeons and Dragons. And that's always kind of an interesting thing. Anyways, so you go through the bedrolls, you go through... you actually find one of them was sleeping next to like a small wooden box. And it has a very weak lock on it. It looks like you could pretty easily pry it open.
I'm guessing that's a strength check for Fjorn. Hey, Fjorn, look what I found. You want to
Alright.
pry this open?
sure. I think I have a crowbar too.
Oh.
Give me any.
You don't feel a crowbar will be necessary. If you want to refund this thing, I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You will snap this old goblin lock with no problem. So inside this wooden box, you find a locket, and inside is the picture of a woman that you don't recognize, a young woman. It looks old. The metal on it is tarnished. Maybe it's worth something, maybe it's not. You can add that to your inventory if you'd like.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all you find in this room. It's mostly dirt, dead goblins. They don't use this room for anything other than sleeping, really. You might even go so far as to guess that this was probably one of the first places they dug out, and they just... The first thing you need is the sleeping quarters, so...
Sorry, did you say it was an old locket, or the woman on the picture is an old woman?
Sorry, I got someone in chat. Someone sane says, some people like haggis, so getting at those guts is a bonus. That's true. So if you guys wanted to, like, honestly, if you guys wanted to eat the corpses, I can't stop you, but I can have you do constitution checks and take potential damage from it. Sorry, the locket, the picture was of a younger woman, but the picture is old, and so is the locket. So the locket is tarnished, the picture is faded, and you don't recognize the person.
Cool.
I think we're gonna come to the end here.
Yep.
So I know you guys probably wish you could do some more, because I know I want to. I do. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to cut it because I don't want to play. I want to play some more. I have tons of content. This whole, I say whole, you don't know how big it is, but this burrow, I have planned out what all the rooms are, and I'm ready to go. But for now, I think we're going to take a quick break. And by break, I mean for a week, because it'll be next Sunday when we play again. But I hope you had a good time. You guys, I'm going to just level you guys by milestones. So you did some stuff today, but you didn't gain a level. You're not going to gain a level every session. That would be... It would still be 20 weeks, but it would be... If we did that, you'd be coming out of this burrow potentially multiple levels stronger, and you'll be like, why am I fighting goblins?
Yeah, no, that's cool. I figured this wouldn't do level 3 yet, so...
Awesome. Okay. So, I hope you guys had a good time. I hope I gave you some content, some stuff to chew on. I did put, like, there is, I don't know how much I should say about this because I like that it's a surprise as it comes up. That's fine. We'll talk about it when you encounter it, and I'll just make sure to mention that I had prepared this week for you guys. But there's some more stuff in that town that I was hoping you guys would encounter, but I'm glad you haven't, because that was one of the things as I was building out the world, and I'm like, okay, I'm building out this world, and it's okay. Every bit of work I put into it is great, because we'll get to it eventually. Oh, thanks, someone sane. I'm not sure how much of this you got to catch, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know if you got to see their sweet notice board that I think technically I don't have the rights to, but that's okay. With some quests that they might encounter over the time, and I'm thinking that these will probably rotate out as the days go by, but we will see what you guys want to do. I hope that you've gotten a lot more agency, because I know what the first session was really like, you're conscripted and you're following your captain, and this is, you got to do whatever I tell you, and I know that can feel a little just off-putting, but I kind of figured since at least one of you was a brand new fresh player, you'd prefer the kind of bit of a handhold situation, and I think I've kind of let you loose, and now you're having a great time. I'm hoping. I'm gonna just do some chickens in chat real quick, and then I'm gonna cut the stream. So I hope everyone watching had a good time. Feel free to watch the previous episodes on YouTube, which should be down below the link. And if you wait a few days, this one as well will be on YouTube. And that way, if in 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 sessions people actually start watching this thing and love it, they can always go back and watch the whole darn thing and learn how far we've come. All right, so that's